l'année 2050. Donc,
could save up to 138 billion USD dollars by 2030 and reduce emission by 150 million tons of CO2 as a result of circular approach to their economies. Packaging is important.
donc elle sera
And it is very important for the shelf
le
life
carbone
and
zéro.
through the supply chain
Elle
for
sera,
both food
Inch'Allah,
and non-food products.
en
So efficient use of packaging
2050.
through the principles of circularity can help to support diversion of waste from landfill, whose current impact is estimated at 20% of global emission. So now let's start with the session today, which is all about accelerating the transition to climate-friendly waste management using circular economy in cities and in settlements, and also using the public-private partnership to apply that. And for that, I'm happy to start introducing the panelists for today. And since ladies first, I would like to introduce the only lady that we have among our panelists. Please welcome to the stage Firdaus Osidon. Firdaus is the special advisor. Firdaus is the special advisor to the
Je vais vous présenter
Secretary General at
des
United Cities and Local Government.
spécialistes
She is an architect by
dans
training, and she is an urban
les États-Unis.
planner and thinker. She's also a member of the UNESCO for Intermediate Cities and World Urbanization. She was behind the G20 development agenda on intermediate cities
celui qui est responsable
with OECD under the
de
Italian
l'agenda
presidency.
25
And my second panelist
de
is
2020.
Mohamed Al Yaqut.
Pardon.
So please welcome Mohamed. Mohamed is the corporate sustainability
Maintenant,
manager
Monsieur
for
Mohamed,
Saudi Investment
c'est
Recycling
lui le chef
Company, who
de
has more than 9 years of
campagne
experience in
saoudien
environmental and sustainability
et l'expérience
management,
de
including
9
oil
ans
and gas, petrochemical, recycling,
de le
and
pétrole
real estate
et gaz
industry.
et pétrole
Mohamed has a wide
et
experience in different
chimical.
areas covering ESG, circular
Il
economy,
a
carbon
beaucoup
management, and sustainability.
d'expérience.
My third panelist is Saad Al-Sharif. Please welcome Saad Al-Sharif to stage. Saad Al-Sharif has 14 years of experience in oil and gas, chemicals and industrial strategies.
Monsieur Saad Al-Sharif, il a l'expérience le gaz du pétrole et c'est lui le chef de la ministre
He has a lot of responsibilities that include strategy execution, policy development, investment,
de l'industrie
and realization for specialty chemicals and plastic and rubber conversion.
et l'alimentation.
Fourth panelist for today is Tariq Basmer. Please welcome Tariq to the stage.
Et de côté
Tariq is the Director of Business Development at the Circular Economy Consulting Company. And he has 12
donc
years
il y a
of experience,
Monsieur
including
Tariq
6 years in the environmental sustainability strategy.
il travaille dans la stratégie
new organizational structures
de
that
la
led to
compagnie
business expansions and built a strong network of subject matter experts to produce and achieve solid accountable outcomes. We hold Circular Economy and Sustainability Strategies Diploma from the University of Cambridge in UK.
Il a
So,
spécialiste de diplôme laisse-moi parler avec cette équipe. Je voudrais que poser une
other
question
questions. So
pour
at
vous,
this MENA
s'il vous
Climate Week
plaît,
on the eve of the global stock stake, what
une
would
minute
you like
seule
our audience
pour vous.
to
Dans
take
cette
away
semaine,
as a key
qu'est-ce que
message
vous aimez?
regarding the circular economy as
Qu'est-ce
a
que vous
solution to waste?
aimez
So I'd like to start with you, Mohammed.
dans la...
Thank you, Noor, for hosting me here. I think the Climate Week has been taking in consideration the energy and the saving of the energy as
de
a main
la
theme.
rotation,
While in the circular
en
economy
fait.
here, they miss some of the important
Merci
part,
beaucoup.
which is coming to material emissions that coming from the
Euh,
generation of the material.
L'énergie, c'est
So,
très
if you
important.
see, for example, the
Donc,
most of the international agencies that focus even on the carbon management, they were considering
quand on voit
the aluminum, the steel, the other construction material as a
l'organisation
part of the carbon
qui
emission
travaille
source.
à la carbone
It's worth to mention that even
et
the landfill emissions has been considered significantly as a source for the greenhouse gases, which is impacting our Earth.
et
So
la
I
serre.
think one of the
Donc, il y a
reason to participate here is to elevate the awareness about the greenhouse
donc
gas
il y a des
emission that's
places
coming from the
pour
material
déchets.
and how we are contributing
Donc,
to remove that emission as a
on
part of the
réfléchit
landfill emissions and contributing efficiently to recycle
on
that material
réfléchit
and produce
comment,
another sustainable material to be
c'est
used
quoi
in
la
the
stratégie
construction, in
de la
hospitality, in
matière
packaging, and other industries as well.
que il y a
Saad.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Noor, and
des,
good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really happy to be part of this
des
session,
places pour,
last session, so
pour
hopefully
cette
this session you'll have today. What I'd like to focus on today is the National Industrial Strategy and its role. Last year,
17.
His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince,
Alors,
launched the National Industrial Strategy in the
je
Kingdom
voudrais
with a vision to build an agile, competitive,
que
sustainable,
parle le
and
prince
most importantly,
Mohammed bin
private
Salman.
sector-led
Il a
industrial
dit
economy, where the part of the us as a ministry and the broader ecosystem is really to enable the private sector to capture these opportunities and to
Il a
be the
dit,
lead in
il a-
achieving the transformation
il
and the
a
targeted growth that we are aiming to
beaucoup de
achieve.
chance dans
And
la
that
campagne.
include legislators,
Et-
include experts, investors, even SMEs and entrepreneurs. And maybe today I'll focus on two main points. The great movement and the great effort happening really to provide and to make the kingdom integrated into the
Je veux parler
global supply chains of
de
sustainable mobility solutions. And also
Transport.
when it comes to an important
l'Arabie
issue,
Saoudite
which is waste management, especially on the polymers and plastics, and how we will be working across the
et
board really to
comment
enable the recycling ecosystem.
utiliser les polymers.
Thank you so much, Saad. Tariq?
Et
First of all, thank you for having me on this esteemed panel and on a
Et la
very interesting
rotation.
topic and subject. My fellow panelists
Merci
and I were having a small discussion
pour vous.
right before we
à
actually got
tous.
into the stage concerning the importance of
Je suis
circularity
content
and how
quand
it
je
actually
suis
would
avec
lead,
vous.
the global stock take and basically the entire
On
Paris
a
climate change
link
guidelines
spécial
towards
pour
a proper sustainable
rotation.
quality of life or quality living for the entire world. And that can only happen after steering away
Donc,
from a linear economy model towards a circular economy model. But as Saad rightfully said, that does not happen with only one stakeholder, or
C'est
there
très
needs to be a
important,
proper engagement
voilà,
through proper
pour
stakeholder
l'économique.
governance. And through that, of
Quand
course, the private and
on
public and
travaille
private partnerships are quite important in order to achieve those different goals and
seulement
mandates. And we believe in circular
au
economy company that does
bar
come to,
groupe.
first of all, reverse engineering the current
Donc,
statuses of different downstreams and upstream manufacturing that would lead to a proper sustainable future, inshallah, for the entire world.
Thank you, Tariq. Firdaus.
Thank you, Noor. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Thank you for having me in this panel. I'm honored to be
Perdos,
invited between my fellow
merci
friends
pour
from
présenter
Saudi.
moi ici.
As a representative
Je
of the
suis
local government,
content
we believe
que
that
je
we
suis
need
avec
transformation
vous.
of the development model.
Je pense
Circularity is
que
necessary. It's not the only option
pense
for
que
this
la
transformation, but
rotation
it is a necessary
est
one
très
and a key
important
one. And when we think about the
et
local government
c'est
that are
obligatoire
managing the daily life of
qu'on
the citizens
parle
and the communities,
de cette chose
circularity becomes a key transition in this changing and transforming of the model.
par le
The second
gouvernement
idea that for us
et
is
les
very
pays.
important when we hear
Donc,
constituency of local
l'autre idée,
government is that the service delivery that
le
is
gouvernement
done by the local
qui
government
serviait,
is key and is the one that manages the
qui
waste. It
serviait
goes through the service delivery of the local government.
la rotation.
So, and I join what my fellow panelists have been saying.
Et je
It's
suis
an
d'accord
ecosystem. The local government
de ce
cannot do it
qu'il
alone.
a dit mes
The
amis.
communities cannot do it alone.
là.
We need a whole ecosystem. And
Donc,
this is what
la
I hope we
société,
will be developing today.
Absolutely. Thank you for those
elle
and
peut
that's
que
why
faire ça.
things we're focusing
Et
on
nous
is
sommes
the
avec,
partnership. So let me start with
nous
the question,
sommes,
Mr. Mohammed.
on est dans le même
So the
bateau.
circular
Donc,
economy is premised
alors,
on
Monsieur
reducing
Mohammed.
waste and pollution and maximizing resource utilization. What are the challenges facing governments and society to develop the
Monsieur
ecosystem
Mohammed, c'est
that
quoi
would
le
ensure
défi
transformation to the circular economy
de le
and
gouvernement
diversion, of waste from landfill? How do you
et
see the investment opportunities for waste management, recovery, collection,
comment
and diversion evolving in the run-up?
ne peut utiliser la
Actually, it's a
rotation?
good question, Ms. Noor.
Et
I think
c'est
what
une
came
bonne
to,
question.
to
En
the
fait,
main challenges of the circular economy execution and the implementation, it came mainly with
quand on
the
parle
two
à la
parameters
défi
that we are having.
principal,
First of all,
donc,
the awareness of the community.
il y a deux choses.
As we know,
La première chose
the successful business models of the circular
de notre
economy and
société,
enhancing the recycling, it's not just came in one day or on one night. It came through a journey of implementing, of sorting at
et
the
la
source, then implementing the
circularité.
total value chain that's going through the circular economy system. And I believe that we have the
Je pense
desire
que
and we have
il y a
to have it because it's part of our Islamic culture. So in our Islamic culture,
que je voudrais
we have to
faire ça parce
minimize our
que
waste,
ça c'est
we should not
culturel, islamique.
taking the natural resources
Et-
that's part of our daily life. So
Et
I
non
believe
utiliser les
the
sources
awareness session is just
nature.
a part of
Donc,
our culture. And once
c'est
we bring the right
très
focus,
important.
the right vision which we are executing at the right stage now, then the whole
Si
transformation
on
of the
a
whole value chain
des
and the
bons
ecosystem, it will be start immediately.
visions.
So this is basically the first
Donc,
challenge that I think we are facing, and now we
la
are developing with the Ministry
c'est
of
ça
Education and with the partnership
le premier
with
défi.
the National Center for Waste Management, a clear milestone to overcome this. Indeed, it's now we have initiated
Donc,
the if you see the circ logo now, it's part of the national development or the sustainable development course that giving to the high school students. I think the belief
Donc,
the second
de
challenge that we
l'école,
are facing is the
de
infrastructure.
l'école,
The infrastructure that requires some time, requires some
de l'école,
resources, and CIRC
c'est
has been
parti
initiated by the
qu'on
PIF, by the
étudie
Royal Decree, to enable that
les gens
to invest in that sector, starting from sorting at the
Et
source, collecting,
pour,
and of course the recycling and getting
prix
recycled resource.
de
So
rotation.
I hope that I answered the first part of your question. The second part of the related to the investment, I believe the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia
Deuxième,
has not spared any efforts to avail that kind of investment. And even we see that the
chose
international
pour
team is focusing on the green
l'investissement.
investment. So I think we came at the right time
L'Arabie
to
Saoudite
make this happen. And
et le
really,
courage
we see that
de
the momentum and the desire from all of the investment and the banking sector to participate and to contribute positively in the
l'investissement.
green investment and the
Donc,
circular economy sector.
avec
It's really interesting to
le
know
banque
that
et
we've started an
toutes les
education
organisations.
to teach a course on sustainability to politicians. So this is news to me. Congratulations on that. Now let me move to Saad. Saad Vision 2030 has identified the circular economy as a path to growth and diversification for the economy of Saudi Arabia. And the progress towards
Nous commençons
what are the
à la
opportunities for industry and the
rotation.
economy in implementing
Maintenant, on parle, c'est
also
quoi
as Minister of Industry and
les
Minerals,
chances
how does the development
en face les
contribute to the
en
national
face le
the minister?
Thank you so much, Noor. An excellent question. So,
l'économique
to recap about
et c'est
Vision
quoi les
2030,
stratégies?
I'm not going to talk much about it. Just three main pillars: is a vital society, thriving
Je
economy,
veux
and
parler
ambitious mission. So remember these three.
de
three
trois
pillars.
trucs.
So, from an angle of
Trois choses.
industry, from the national industrial
Donc,
strategy, there are multiple opportunities,
nous sommes
multiple angles. And as I've mentioned earlier
très
in my
bien.
statement, maybe
Vous
focusing
avez
today
très bien suscité.
on two main examples, starting with the automotive industry.
Et
The
impétueux.
Kingdom is targeting a diverse and high value-added automotive industry that is capitalizing
L'Arabie
on latest
Saoudite
technology that actually contribute to the environmental goals and the circular economy
il
goals
commence
on all angles. Either on electric
il
vehicles,
commençait
even in commercial
de fabriquer
vehicles,
le
talking
voiture
about also
électricité
highly efficient ICE or industrial combustion
sans
engine, and
pétrole.
etc.
Donc,
In the last 12 months, just to show the progress that we have been making,
il y a
we're
2
exploring
mois,
opportunities across the board, especially on the
il y a,
supply chains around it, that
avant
integrating
2
the
mois,
ecosystem around it. So SEER is the first national brand
dans
for,
cette année,
for electric mobility. Was launched last November. Actually, I think last week or the week before,
la rotation
Lucid just started operations and production
de
in
voitures
Singapore Economic City.
électroniques.
I think yesterday or the day before, PIF
Je
and
pense que
Saudi Electric Company launched the
il y a une compagnie qui
company for the
s'appelle
electric,
GAIF
infrastructure, electric vehicle infrastructure company. I think
travaille
today also there was a company launched. And it's
de,
more into how we capitalize on this growing
de fabrique
sector
voitures.
to
Donc,
also continue the
comment
momentum really to leverage
c'est
on
pour ça
technologies
nous pouvons
and also expertise related
utiliser
to the big ecosystem and supply chain that these industries
utiliser des
that
expériences
shows that
qui existent
this is making not only the kingdom but also the region, making it highly integrated with the global supply chains, especially with the accelerated growth in the EV mobility.
c'est pas privé à l'Arabie Saoudite, mais en tout le monde. Donc, comme mon ami Mohamed l'a dit, donc on a un grand programme. Il y a beaucoup de chances. Peut-être il y a 20%. Pardon, il y a 20% de rotation.
these
C'est
opportunities are actually,
c'est une chose très importante d'économique et employé. Et en fait,
contribute to the national GDP. And that is
vous
also important when it comes to
attendez,
so if I reflect back on
il
the
y a un
three pillars
projet
of the
petit
Vision 2030,
et
it's actually contribute heavily on having a
moyen.
thriving society, or a vital
Donc,
society and a thriving economy, and also an ambitious nation.
ça sera
Thank you so much, Saad. Yes.
de bonnes sociétés.
Building or having an ecosystem all
Merci.
circular economy is
à
very
tous.
important.
Donc, il y a des systèmes.
That I would like to address for those. What are the critical challenges
Je vais parler
in
de.
managing waste and
Je vais
how
parler
to
à
transform waste into an
Madame
opportunity for
Firdos.
circular economy?
Comment on
Well, thank you for this
transporte
question because
cette
it is- it does
situation?
put on the table the key lever that the local governments are using to
En
enhance the
fait,
quality
sur
of
la
public
table,
citizenship.
qui cherche, que,
The
qui
service
cherchait
delivery, I was saying
le
earlier,
gouvernement,
must go
le
from
transporte
the goods, the commons, and whatever resources
Et-
the people need to unfold
et les
their
bonnes
daily
sources
lives. So they need to
pour,
have a flow of goods. They need to
vivre,
ensure that what is the waste of these goods, how it will be managed,
toutes les journées.
and how this waste management will ensure at the end of the day that they are entering the virtual circle of
Et c'est quoi
circularity.
la situation?
And the key question here is,
Et
as I was saying earlier, the local government cannot
la
make it
rotation.
alone. So the key question for them, and that for me is the big challenge, is how to generate the right ecosystem. Why do I say right? Because we are facing today in the world a
Et
problem of trust. Not only with the
l'excrément.
private sector, but also
Donc,
with
le
the politicians.
gouvernement ne peut
And
pas
the
travailler
those that are
seul.
losing the trust
Donc,
are the citizens. So when the service delivery must be
on
done
a
to them,
le
the question of
civil,
the dialogue, building the
le
trust,
civil
building the right ecosystem,
aussi,
ensuring that there is transparency,
avec
ensuring
de
that
confiance.
those that are talking about delivery are delivering. My colleague here was talking about what we were exchanging before.
Mon ami il
uh,
parle,
about
elle
doing what we
discute
preach,
déjà.
Practicing what we preach,
practicing what we preach.
walking the walk.
Exactly what I call that walking the walk. So walking the talk.
Walking the talk, I'm sorry.
So yeah, that is exactly the problem where the problem resides. So
Donc,
the
c'est un
public-private partnership, while
ces
being
problèmes.
a solution, is very sensitive in the way it is implemented, and it's around the world.
Elle discute
and
de
also
ce problème. Donc,
in the MENA region,
c'est
we
ça
have shown
que
problems from trust in the campaigning.
c'est ça
of
très,
building
ça,
this,
c'est très important. Donc,
public-private partnership. So this is the first
il y
point I want
a
to raise. The second point
des
is
problèmes à la média
how can
et,
we attract the private sector to come to the cities
et je
and
discute
ensure that
comment
the
le
city has
spécial
an attractivity that allows the private sector to
campagne
come.
qui
Talking about the market, talking
qui
about the
travaille de
the numbers, the key
cette
figures that are studied each time. And why do
de
I talk
cette
about the market? The market is
situation.
important because when you will be building a circularity, you cannot do it in
on
one
parle
city
de-
unless it is a mega city. But if you want to do
on
it more
parle à la-
largely and
par
have really
le
a
marché.
national model that is transformed, you need the large
Donc,
market
si vous
and
avez
all the cities to be integrated
des-
into this dynamic. And this brings me to the third point,
Si vous avez
that is the question of the intermediary cities. The intermediary cities are the next
Si vous
frontier
avez
for the market.
des programmes
And
pour les billets,
I will bring an example
comment-
later, but
comme
why?
je
Because,
expliquais
the
avant,
intermediary cities,
je
when you work on the
expliquais
intermediary
après.
cities, it's not about one city, it is
Donc,
about the mass of the cities. in the
Cet
national planning.
pays,
So once we will be
c'est
working on the service
pas un
delivery and
seul
improve local
pays,
governance
il y
to
a
ensure the service
beaucoup de
delivery to
pays.
citizens,
Donc,
you will not be doing it on one city, but on the mass of the cities. And we have this example in Morocco. I'll be coming back to it a little bit later. But the question is how to explore and how to develop this circularity in all the cities with a market that is generating a new green market with green jobs and a large waste management that can ensure that that not only the circularity is happening, but the private-public partnership is happening not at a small scale that is the intermediary city, but at national scale,
donc
making the private-public partnership more attractive and more trustable. And the last point I would like to share is the question of the responsibility, because the responsibility is taken by the public part, while
notre travail.
I believe that a better balanced responsibility between the different parts of the public-private, the PPP, would help a lot. That would be a recommendation.
C'est obligatoire qu'il y a de responsables de la PPP.
Thank you so much.
Et
This is actually a perfect
merci Fordos.
way to the question that I'm having for Tariq. So,
C'est une
Tariq,
bonne
what is,
réponse en
in
fait.
your work in the
Je veux
circular economy company,
Je,
you've conducted a lot of
je
work
parle
on
avec
projects here.
Tariq,
So,
la
what
rotation
does your
de
organization
la
see
région
as the critical
et
barriers to
votre
transformation?
organisation, votre compagnie, qu'est-ce que le fait de...
She said it all. It was perfectly articulated. Well, thank you for that question.
C'est quoi le problème de rotation?
I have so many
En fait, Perdos l'a dit tous.
the partnership
Je discute
having the partnerships on all different levels.
à
I
l'important
believe the most critical barriers
de
is number one, the proper infrastructure, whether that may be for waste or recycling or regeneration,
situation.
recovery. We can go through all the 9R infrastructures of
Donc,
sustainability or circularity, which leads to later on a necessity and need for education, which is awareness. And that was music to literally to my ears as well, to hear
c'est le
that such an
17
initiative now is happening. This
et le
does come as
rotation,
well from our own experience
rotation le
working
17
on writing and creating the national strategy for waste, particularly in awareness and capacity building. And without having the proper infrastructure, then that awareness or that education would not have the proper effectiveness of it. So
Donc,
that is a very important
dans
part
l'école,
to go through that barrier. Another
si
important
on a
point, I believe,
étudié les gens de l'école, c'est un bon.
cultural integration, cultural relevance. We are a
Bon,
vast country with
c'est un
different
bien.
cultures from one part to the other. So when we do work on an infrastructure or education particularly, we need to know exactly who are we targeting, who is the audience that we're speaking to.
Donc
And
c'est qu'est-ce
know
qu'on a.
exactly what
Quand
are the
on a
points
fait,
that we need to shed light on in order
cet
for them
point,
to absorb that information. That is the right awareness.
il faut.
And that is a part of the things that we've worked with
Il faut.
different government partners and private partners as well through our different services and projects. I'm always keen
Que
with the project
on a
owner to ensure
travaille
cultural relevance and cultural integration
avec
for this
des
particular area. An
bien
awareness program for
et bon
Al-Ula is completely different than an
organisation
awareness program for Riyadh.
et pour le
And as
culturel,
well to the eastern province or western province and southern
et ça
provinces.
se
So these 2
différence
points are, I believe,
entre
critical
Riyad
points
et
that
à l'est
everyone needs to look into to achieve the proper
région.
sustainability
Donc
Thank you, Tariq. Yeah, it is very important to have a culture sensitive awareness programs
Donc,
when it comes when talking about circular economy.
cet,
So
pro-
that leads to a question that I would like
cet
to ask Mr.
projet
Mohammed. Saudi Arabia has embarked on an ambition program of reform
est
under Vision
conduit
2030 to
non
achieve the ambitions defined by MAWAN, which is the National
à
Center
la poser des questions.
of Waste Management, the target of 82%
La vision
diversion from landfill. Significant
2030.
technological development is required.
Donc,
We discussed the significant investments
on
needed to
discute
develop the required infrastructure. Can you describe how advancements in technology and AI benefit the future
qu'est-ce qu'on a
infrastructure
besoin?
for sorting, recovering, and
Est-ce
recycling?
que
Okay, actually, this is a really good question
vous
at
pouvez,
the good time. Just
est-ce que,
to give you the context and the audience, you mentioned the 82% landfill diversion.
est-ce que vous,
This is
vous
the
pouvez,
target that we have
est-ce que
set
vous
to
pouvez
complete
parler
by
à la
2035.
technologie
But to just give a
et
context, what's our percentage currently? We are now less than 5% of recycling and landfill diversion.
Very ambitious target.
So, um,
et
just
l'intelligence
to look into the total globe,
artificielle?
we
Donc,
identify around 5 to 6 countries who's
si
achieving
on
the
a
target
voir à
of
la
achieving
planète,
100% for the
et
landfill diversion, and
il
that
y
also
a,
including plus 50% in the
il y
recycling
a
process. So moving
quelques pays
for and it's also
qui
worth to
a
mention that this
rotation
took the G20 some of the
100%,
G20
mais non,
countries 25 years to
pas
35
encore,
years to
mais
achieve that target. Okay, so currently we are in 2023 at having 5%
donc
at the current
dans
situation and trying to achieve 82%
2030,
for all of the waste streams
nous
and
avons
94% for the
3%
municipal and solid waste. And
jusqu'à...
answering that,
Et
how we are
maintenant,
going to achieve it, this is
j'espère
will
qu'on
require
arrive à
collaboration
la
from all of the parties, the private
85%.
and the technology providers, the
Donc,
private sectors, and of course the governmental entities as well to set the right legislation at place. And of course, capitalizing on the technological advancement. Currently, we are lucky that we have now many technologies that will support our objective, our business to grow in the right dimension. So we are not talking about only about the normal landfill diversion or the recycling business, which is containing the MRF, the material recovery facility, or the composting. No, but we are taking of course, we are taking in consideration the high-tech waste technologies. For example, waste to hydrogen. Waste to hydrogen, this is one of the technologies that we are transferring our municipal solid waste to hydrogen, which is the green hydrogen that going to be utilized in the businesses very soon. And also we were transferring, I'm giving just another example for transferring the used cooking oil to SAF, to the sustainable aviation fuel that will be
Et je vais vous donner un
utilized
exemple pour
in the
comment
airplane.
transférer
Actually, for the context
et
of
comment
partnership, we are signing
l'essence qui
with
est
the world
utilisée au
leading
pilot,
companies in that, such as
au plein,
I can name Marubeni, one
parce
of the
qu'on a un
leading
contrat
Japanese
avec le
companies,
grand
and of course with Aramco and Total for the SAF project.
company.
So,
Et
the
comme
technological
exemple,
advancement, I think
le
this is one of the
japonais
main pillars that we are
et
developing in
Total
our strategy. This is one of the,
pour
we consider it also one of the enablers to move from the 5% to the 82% in all of the
et
type
c'est
of the waste.
très
Of course, we have a
important pour
partnership with the universities as well.
transférer
The
de
last year,
5%,
we have
de
been recognized
8%.
by Forbes as a number 2
Et la dernière année,
company that
on a bien
finding the sustainable
connu
development solutions in terms of
et on
the
cherche
sustainable
bien des
solutions.
solutions.
So and this is
Et
thanks
nous
for
allons
our partners, King Faisal University and
avec
KAUST, where we produce two type of products that supporting
l'université,
the
comme
sustainability
l'université le Kingdom
journey
Abdullah.
for the kingdom as well. So the technological
Et c'est quoi
advancement.
les
You mentioned the AI.
choses qu'ils ont fait
The
en
Emirate of
Arabie
the
Saoudite.
facility is not going to be like any
Et
Emirate
pour
facility.
les
Of course, it will have the latest technological
intelligences
advancement to increase the
robotiques
recycling percentage, and also we are depending
qu'ils
on
ont
the advanced
aidé
solutions that covering the latest
pour
technologies,
trouver les
waste to
solutions,
chemical, waste to hydrogen,
comme on
they use
dit,
cooking oil to SAF,
l'électronique
and you name it, from all of the technologies that existing.
et
And
les
this is not
chemicals.
ending now, not ending in 2023 October. Will be continue
Et
until
ça,
we
c'est
are
pas
achieving
fini
the
juste
target that we
à
want to achieve.
2030,
Absolutely,
mais il
absolutely.
va
I couldn't
plus
agree with
encore
you more right
continuer.
this second. And what you've mentioned is a real example of the collaboration
Mm.
between public and private
Et ça,
working
c'est un bon
regulators.
exemple.
So this is a great example. And
Et
talking about
c'est un bon
examples, I'd
exemple
like just
pour...
to go back to Firdaus now. You talked about the enablers for the right ecosystem for circularity.
Et on
Now,
a
I'd
déjà
like to ask you
discuté,
about how do local government enhance their waste management
mais
when
maintenant,
it
je
comes to
vais à une
industrial
question, mais
infrastructures.
comment
Do
le
you have
gouvernement
illustrative examples
se
in the
porte
region?
Thank you, Noor. Actually, I would like to
les
go
poubelles?
upstream a little bit and recall that we
Je
are
voulais
talking
bien
about
expliquer
industrialization or
comment le
desindustrialization.
produire
Parts of the world
ou
is
bien
talking about degrowth
ne
for
pas
resilience
produire
and sustainable development.
et comment dans la part, quelque
Uh,
part
and
du
actually, the
monde.
global south is still thriving for the prosperity
Et je
and
pense
for
que
finding the goods and
qu'il y
a
a
better quality of life.
plus de personnes qui cherchent le
And in this,
matériel
having said this,
pour bien.
this region, I think MENA region, is the perfect
Et j'ai dit que cette
enabler,
région,
to say it somehow.
c'est
And
où
I would like to
qu'ils
share an example I was talking
ils
earlier
vont
about is
ou bien
Morocco.
qu'ils sont
Before being
capables
in UCLG,
de le faire.
I did
Et
work
comme on
on a
dit,
multilateral agreement
comme on parle
on
avec
implementing
CLG,
SDGs upon a vision 2030
on a dit il y a des contrats
in
juste
intermediary cities. And we
2030
build up a multilateral agreement between
au
Morocco
Moyen-Orient,
government, the Ministry of Housing and
comme
Interior
le
government,
gouvernement du Maroc
UCLG and UN Habitat
et
to
le
ensure implementation
ministère
of
de
SDGs
les
in
habitants
intermediary cities. And one of
et
the
comment
pillars
ils
that
vont
is
faire
implemented
pour les
them is the climate
stratégies
one that was
pour
taken with the
l'énergie
treatment of
dépend
waste and resources.
et les
And
climaticés.
therefore, talking about industry in this sense, the question is how
Et
to
alors,
not make of the
quand
rest of
on
the
a
country that are not
parlé avec
megacities the
eux,
contaminated parts
de
of the
questionner
country.
comment
Because usually we want to decontaminate
faire
the
les
biggest
petits
cities,
villages,
so we take them out of
comment
these
prendre,
territories. But the question is not to
comment
recontaminate
prendre
elsewhere. The question is to bring
des bâtiments
a
qu'ils
transformative
sont
model somewhere else. And here the intermediary cities are playing
bon
their part.
exemple
Because Morocco has
pour
launched under the vision of His Majesty
sur l'énergie.
a new transformative model of development.
Aussi au Maroc,
And therefore this project was entering a little
au
bit this
le
vision
kingdom de
and ensuring that
Mohammed,
industry was playing a key
il
role
prend
in
bien
enhancing
attention pour faire,
the whole
pour être sûr
value chain into the intermediary
que se
cities, and this is
porte
something they are working on right
ce
now,
petit village.
and make it not only a value chain,
C'est ça
but a
ce qu'elle
circular
a fait
chain
maintenant.
that is respecting circularity. So that is the example
Ces
I
choses, c'est
wanted
très important
to share with you.
pour le
Having
recycle.
said that, I think it is very important to not forget
Et
that
je pense
local
qu'il est très
governments
important maintenant
need to deal
que le local
with this
government,
ecosystem and need to
comment
build it.
communiquer
So this
avec le
multi-level
système
dialogue with the
économique
national level when you
et
are
comment
talking about
il
many
faut
cities
construire
is very important. I know that
pour
Saudiya
le,
has
le
Mamlaka
différent
Saudiya has a
nouveau.
lot of intermediary cities.
Et on
I
connaît
know they are,
bien
they are,
que
they are
l'Arabie Saoudite
working on finding
communique
some,
avec
some
autres
solutions
pays
at
pour
national
trouver une
level planning.
solution.
And I think that maybe a
dans
good
le
solution to
plan
this
de
would be to
common
see
change
the
entre.
industry as being something that is supporting the
Mais
service
le
delivery
solution, c'est comment
in
on
general,
supporte
as a green service delivery in all the cities, as a
le,
general management at national level,
le
and ensuring
service
that actually
local
it's not an
et mettre
industry that is moving from a
sur
place to another, but an industry that is bringing
qui
green jobs,
l'économie et
green
les
vision, and
fabriques
implementing the Vision 2030. You were hearing uh, Mr. Saad talking about that.
changer,
If
de
there is an implementation of the 2030 agenda, those
changer
industries can
tous les
really play
produits
an
de
accelerator
Arabie Saoudite
in
de
these territories, and especially
verte.
when the planning is seen at
Et
national
ça,
level,
c'est
at national
grand rôle
planning territory.
pour
Thank you so much,
organiser.
Firdaus, for sharing this example from Morocco. So, flying from Morocco to
Et
Saudi,
merci,
back to you, Saad.
Fardos, pour
And
cette
the question is about
présentation.
how does the Ministry of
On
Industry see
rentrait
the opportunity
au Arabie
and
Saoudite
private
et
partnership
Saad,
in the development of circular economy.
comment,
What can the
comment
Ministry
vous
do
voyez en Arabie Saoudite
support industries
les,
transform to
cet
circular?
event
Thank you, Noor. Thank you so much.
pour supporter
I think I'd
le.
like to go back to early statements, but the fundamentals on how we view a transformation in the industry,
Je voulais bien
as I've said before, it should be a private
remarquer le
sector-led
point, ce qu'il faut
transformation.
faire avec
That does not mean we don't do anything, right?
le
It is,
région
and I agree
personnelle.
with my fellow panelists that it is everyone
Et
that is
j'ai
within that
aussi
ecosystem. And from a regulatory perspective, how we
supporte
can
ce
enable
que mes
that
collègues disent,
transformation through sound policies, through having
comment on
the
peut
regulatory framework
transférer
to enable that.
ces solutions
Take an example of
et
recycling.
organiser.
I think my fellow panelist has already
Et pour exemple, le
explained and we talked
recyclement.
about the whole value chain, and I like the whole value circular chain.
Mais on a
Actually,
déjà parlé
I'm-
avec comment il est
it's a much better
important.
and accurate term. Throughout the whole
Et je dis
raw
maintenant,
material, I mean the waste, as a
c'est tous les
product, we
minéraux,
have the supply and demand. Beautiful points
tous vos
by Mohammed with
jeter
awareness that goes
beaucoup de
beyond
minéraux
all the way to
qu'une
schools,
peau
and how we view, you know,
le
different
réutiliser
cities with
et
with
comment on
different
voit
sizes,
qu'il y a
with
beaucoup
each
de
nation and each area has its
minéraux,
own circumstances. So I
mais
emphasize on
chaque
the point
pays
also
et chaque ville,
was said
ils
by
ont
Tariq.
autre
The industry at this
moyen de
circular
le
chain
faire.
is one part of it, and that part will have multiple stakeholders.
Mais cette
And
recircule,
we pick up the momentum,
il y a
and we
beaucoup,
need to continue that momentum, and
il n'y a
then
pas
as we go,
beaucoup de personnes qui ont utilisé
we have
la même façon
one of the learnings that
pour
we've seen is the importance of having
supporter
a
les
platform for
plans.
all the different stakeholders.
Il
The
faut
private
être
sector, the experts,
beaucoup
the
d'événements
regulators,
pour
the
après
infrastructure providers, everyone, to have that kind of platform.
comment
And now
faire
we're activating
et comment
what we
faire
call,
pour le
solar
souterrain.
councils to actually bring all these together. Really to make sure
On
that
a bien faire beaucoup de
challenges that we have
secteurs
along the
aussi.
way, from a regulatory perspective, and also from infrastructure perspective, from
Et c'est assez
awareness, from
sérieusement
education,
comment
from
faire
all-
pour
from all
les
that.
sous-souterrains.
Not only that, anything to grow has to be competitive.
Et
And
pas seulement ça,
competitiveness now is all about knowledge, know-how, about technology advancement.
où il faut
But such platform can
aussi
also
avoir de
help
savoir
the different players really to have that
comment,
venue really to exchange. And not only to exchange among them, but
comment
also
on peut
how to work with
communiquer avec les autres
CERC, how to work with
joueurs,
MENA, how to work with everyone,
pour
universities, research, really to
comment
help
communiquer
the,
avec les
the industry grow.
universités,
And
avec
really
les
to help
recherches
making this region
et
say a
comment
hub
on peut
for knowledge, especially with very ambitious
grossir
targets,
ce
for us to
savoir
achieve on circular
et
economy,
avec le
on
point
all the different aspects.
pour les ministries de
Yeah, that's it. I think it's becoming late,
ressources.
so I think I need to stop. So thank you so much.
These are
Et
interesting
je
topics
pense
that
que
would,
je vais
that would
arrêter
allow us
maintenant.
to keep on flowing
Exactly.
with ideas and discussions all night.
Absolutely.
C'est un
What's
bon
the color
sujet,
is very
Exactly.
alarming,
And,
so.
and we, as KSA Faculty
mais
Group, we look forward to hear more about this platform and this initiative.
On, on aimerait bien écouter tout ce que vous voulez dire, mais le temps, mais parler avec le ministre de
Thank
fabrication,
you, Noor. First of all, well, at CEC,
comment
we
vous voulez
believe
faire?
firmly in the importance of
Merci
local
pour la question.
content. But
On voit bien
the
aussi
importance
si
of local content needs to come, has a
nous
catch with it
allons
and a
un
hook.
point
That
de
hook
vue,
comes with the full awareness and knowledge of international standards of
mais il faut
quality.
bien être,
Now, once that is
il
there
faut
and
bien
completely
avoir de
absorbed and
savoir
understood, that is where a local
et
content can
bien
come in
compréhension
with the local culture
pour le
relevance
local
to help the to help the public
personne
sector
de
and to help
comprendre
this entire
et
vision and goals
aider
that we have within the mandates of the vision to achieve all of these different outcomes required. So we believe that is one very important part. But the
et je
pivotal
pense que c'est
and
très
most
important.
important point, I believe, is technology.
Mais le plus
There is no
important point,
sustainability, there is no circularity
c'est la
without the proper
technologie.
technological advances.
Sans la technologie,
And that comes on so many different levels, whether that may be on
on ne
whether
peut
it's
pas le
downstream,
faire.
upstream, whether it is
Mais
from
aussi, il y a
waste to energy,
différents
whether
niveaux
it is
de
waste
technologie,
creating green hydrogen or even blue hydrogen.
même
Blue
de
hydrogen is
énergie
purer than green,
de
however, it is more
perdue
costly at the
ou
moment.
bien
But with
énergie
the proper
de
technology advances with
hydrogène
research and
ou bien
development,
de
we
hydrogène
will
vert,
achieve that.
de hydrogène
We've been working on a
bleu.
R&D
Il
concerning
faut
oil,
tous,
and that's a global issue. We have come up with something right now. I
et
cannot
bien tous
disclose
les
so much about it,
recherches,
but it's something very interesting and exciting for us to realize that
c'est très important
we no
qu'on
longer
a
need to
bien
just
compris
look into recycling oil.
qu'on n'a pas
Now we've
besoin
looked into regenerating
de
oil,
recirculer le
and through that
pétrole
we were able to
pour
enhance the
avoir
life
plus
cycle of oils.
d'énergie.
Instead of a one-time use, we can now go up to 10 times.
Mais le
Of
recycle
using the
de
same oil that was already
énergie
used,
de
whether it's
pétrole,
hydraulic oil, whether
on
it's
peut le
crude oil, whether any
recirculer
types of oil
10
in
fois.
different industries. So
C'est pas seulement le
that came
pétrole,
from, of
pardon,
course,
c'est
understanding
pas
the
le pétrole,
international
c'est le
standards,
oil.
whether they are World Bank
C'est le
guidelines or
oil
IFC
qu'on peut le
principles or
faire
even
plus que 10
SDGs.
fois.
Take into
Mais
consideration
il y a
as well
aussi
ESG reports, which could lead the way and create this pathway towards the proper sustainability while understanding my current state.
mais surtout ça,
Through this ESG
on va
report, that would
avoir
allow
la
me to
même
actually
route ou le même chemin
integrate and
pour,
put into consideration these different guidelines
pour-
required, whether they're international, and as well mixing them locally with the
pour
local guidelines.
avoir
And
le,
of course, more importantly, is bringing in the proper technology with the proper R&D,
pour
again,
balancer
internationally and locally,
le
to have
recherche
the
avec
proper
le gouvernement
circular
local
economy model
et le
which
gouvernement
everyone is going to win
global.
on. And with circularity, what I love about circular economy is it
Et
is
tout le monde
literally
va
in
être
so many ways
gagné.
defined as it is circular. It is a closed loop.
C'est
So it's a
ce
win-win-win-win
cercle,
situation. And what we need to do
ce
is always look
cercle
for where
pour
is
tout le
this,
monde gagner.
where's the missing link?
Et que
Where's
nous,
the- where's
nous
the
allons
circle?
besoin
The
que
circle has
trouver
particular
le,
loops in it. We
c'est
just need to
où
maybe sometimes reverse engineer
exactement le
certain
le
services or certain
problème, pardon,
guidelines even to pinpoint where this loophole is
et
and how can we
mettre
close it in
des
order for
rôles
this to continuously have the
pour ce
proper
qu'on
ecosystem.
trouve de bons rôles et les push pour avancer. Ma dernière question pour vous tous. Moi aussi, je regarde le temps.
in each of your mandate? And what would you like to see the industry doing?
C'est quoi le
as
rôle
it
de
relates to
personne
transition to circular economy? So who would like to pick this question first?
de fabriquer
Shall we start with you, Firdaus?
pour mettre de balance? Qui va commencer?
I think I did answer a little bit this question.
Avec vous.
This is why, I
J'ai
would repeat it a
déjà
little bit, and I would like to
donné
insist on
le
the question of the trust. In the fact that to
le
build
problème
things
de cette
and
question,
accelerate this,
mais c'est le
implementation of
vrai
circularity,
de la réalité.
um,
Il faut
we
le
need
dépêcher
trust to be rebuilt at national,
pour,
local, regional levels with the
pour
private
mettre
sector,
plus
with
de
the different,
confiance
and what I would
pour
recommend,
tous les
and
joueurs.
this is my
Et,
second recommendation,
et
is
ce que je
to have it
voulais,
in a participatory approach. Because therefore, all actors agree on what's going on. All
c'est tout le
actors
monde qui
can go forward.
partageait,
And we were saying a
partageait
little bit earlier as well.
et
You
compris
can go
un
fast if you are alone, but you can
emploi
go
pour tous
far
que
if you
travaillent les mêmes
are
choses,
together. So this is a
mais
little bit
pour
generating this
tout le monde
ecosystem is not
qui en
about
a
one shot
plus
thing. It's really about making it
d'armes,
sustainable,
elle
to
va
make the whole dynamic sustainable.
être
And for
mieux.
that, building trust and having a participatory approach between the citizens, the different parts of
Et
this
s'il y a une
PPP.
bonne
And
stratégie
we always say
partagée
PPP, but
entre
there are many actors in this PPP.
les joueurs,
Integrating the
il y a
communities
beaucoup
into
d'exemples
the
aussi
dynamic
de
will
personnes
help
qui
a lot.
ont
Because the
travaillé
question today
avec
is
ça.
about the trust. If you want things to be sustainable, and if you
Mais
want this
il faut
fight
avoir de
against
courage.
climate change and all its components,
Il
be
faut
sustainable,
avoir
we
de
need to
courage
we should need to go. We should
fait
seek to go that way.
au réchauffement climatique. Il faut
I'll
avoir
stop
de
here.
courage.
As you would say, we can stay on it.
Et
Yeah,
j'ai
I'll give you the
déjà
floor
hours.
for a
dit.
closing remark after this
Yeah.
question. Saad?
Yeah, sure. I think as I've mentioned before, and I really like the statement by Firdaus,
Et comme j'ai déjà dit,
it's this
comme
partnership in everything.
Madame Fordos a dit,
When we draft policies,
c'est
that link has to happen in the ground.
c'est le principal,
At the end of the day, the
il faut
industry or the
avoir
private sector will be the user of these policies, will be the
communication
beneficiary of these policies. When we
avec
drive the legislations, when we
personne
look at
l'utilisation.
challenges, I think that's an important part.
Il y a, comme j'ai
And
dit,
it's
beaucoup
not a
de challenges.
one-time only. It's a journey that will continue. Of course, the world is changing.
C'est
Dynamics are
un
different.
grand
And having that
voyage.
systematic approach is
On ne peut
important.
pas le faire
And
dans,
when
la,
we talk
dans,
about
le
the
même
public
cho-
sector,
dans le même temps.
also multiple players.
Il
not
faut
only
le faire
whomever is involved in it.
au
In
longtemps
our discussion today, it
parce
can go
qu'il y a
all the schools.
beaucoup de
Something
secteurs
that,
au
in my
gouvernement.
job, only family side, but
Et comme
but really, when
on
you think
dit,
about it, it's
c'est
everything.
pas seulement
Schools,
l'environnement, c'est peut-être aussi l'école,
even يعني
les
how we
sciences,
see,
recherches aussi,
from a culture perspective, how we incentivize that.
et
And I
comment
think that
on
is
va
a key message on how we should look at this partnership.
le message et comment on peut le voir
Thank you, Saad.
dans ce voyage qui ne finit
Everything's
pas.
been said. I have nothing
Monsieur
more to
Tarek.
add
That's why I
to this.
said me next.
Yeah, I completely
Vraiment, j'ai pas
agree with
beaucoup
my
de
fellow
choses à
panelists.
dire,
They've
mais
rightfully said, as
mais
Firdaus
je suis
rightfully said,
bien
trust is very important. I believe,
avec
or we believe
Monsieur
at
Verdos,
CEC that,
j'ai dit la même. Je
the
pense
most
que
important part
on est
is to
on
realize that everyone is winning.
le plus
It's,
important.
I don't want to take from you something, nor do I want to give you something without something back
Puisque
in
je ne vous
return.
prends
And
pas
this
quelque
goes for
chose
private or
et je ne
public
peux
and
pas
private
vous
partnerships,
donner
which
quelque
leads,
chose
all the way to
pour
citizens
que
and
communique.
users. So once they realize
Mais
that this is a win-win situation for everyone, that is when
et
we
quand
can have
on
a
a compris
firm,
bien que
unified
tout le monde
stand
faire comme
together
ça, on va
to
vraiment
actually
gagner.
achieve this. And alhamdulillah, with
Parce qu'il
with
faut
the vision
un
of
budget
Your Highness the Crown
pour
Prince,
tout le
and
monde
with the public sectors enabling
et
as well, or
et
creating and
aussi pour
restructuring the
le
entire organization
2030
with guidelines and bylaws
et
and
le personnel
legislations, and
secteur
the belief
et
and
les privés
and
secteurs
belief
aussi.
in the private sector.
Il faut
That
bien
is something beautiful for us
croyons
as citizens to witness, and I believe anyone that lives in
et
the
c'est
country and has
très
and that is as
bien
well
pour
coming
le
in now and
public
witnessing the change
et
in our
les
country.
personnes qui vivent dans
That
notre
is, I
pays.
believe now my addition to it, and we do
Et
hope
ça,
to see this
c'est ce que j'ai dit.
bond getting
Et
stronger and
j'espère
stronger,
bien
inshallah.
qu'on voit
Muhammad?
cette
I
communication
believe they catch up all
soit
of the,
plus
all
fort
of the items.
jour
I just
par
have
jour.
one remark. When the PI initiated CERC, they could
J'approuve tout
initiate
ce
a Saudi recycling
qu'ils ont
company,
dit,
but
mais
they
j'ai une
initiated Saudi investment recycling
chose
company for a purpose, and that
pour
purpose
le
I think is very clear
recyclement.
for all of the
Et on a
sector,
déjà le
because we
recyclement
want
plein
start
et le
we want
recyclement
to start
company.
a real partnership with the private, with the local, with the international, with everybody that could
On
support
va
and
bien
could accelerate that transition
supporter
to the
les
circular economy. And
secteurs
in that
privés
case,
et
I
les
think this
publics
was a
secteurs aussi
wise decision that has been
pour
taken all that time.
supporter
Um,
le
Now,
recyclement. Et
thanks
on
to that
prend un bon
partnership,
décision,
thanks
je
to that
crois,
concept, now we are consist of 7 subsidiaries
qu'on a pris
covering
cette
different
part.
waste streams, and I'm proudly saying that
Et on a
the private
déjà
and
7
the local and the
branches
international partners are playing a major
qui
role for
supportent le
that
personnel
transformation for the Kingdom of
secteur
Saudi
et
Arabia,
les
even they
publics
are not
secteurs aussi,
a Kingdom of Saudi
qui
Arabia
jouent
citizens.
très
So I believe
important
this is one
rôle
of the
en Arabie
beautiful
Saoudite.
image that you can see it
Et je
when we are
crois
partnering
que
with
cette
everybody and
point, elle est
when we
très bien
take the
quand on
partnership
dit
in the real mean the partnership
et
that what does
cette
it mean.
point avec les autres
Partnership and collaboration is
collègues,
always rewarding. Now, I'd like to ask each one of you to
c'est
give
les
a closing remark.
collections
We have
avec.
less than 2 minutes to conclude the session. So,
Et
I'll
pour
start
le
with you.
final, je voulais un mot
It's
pour
surprising.
Yeah.
vous.
As the closing remarks, I
Commencer
want to
avec
highlight
vous,
that
Monsieur Mohamed.
60 million of construction
Quand
demolish waste. Around 35,000
je vous l'ai
discharge
dit,
of
il y a
industrial and industrial waste,
16
75,000
tonnes
of
millions
the municipal and solid
de
waste,
poubelles
500,000 of industrial and hazardous
qu'ils
waste. This is
vont
already
jeter.
has been done within 5 years.
Tout-
But
Et tout ça,
we are not there yet. What we are
juste le
forecasting, the
60,
circular economy
juste
will
les
have
5
to
ans,
contribute
les
more than
dernières 5 ans.
100 billion Saudi riyal in the GDP.
Mais
We
c'est
are
affecte aussi
anticipating that it will contribute
l'économie.
for more than 77,000 jobs. It will reduce the harmful emission by 73
Mais elle
billion
va ramener
ton,
aussi
of harmful emission, and
78
it will
000,
reduce the oil consumption by
78
60
000
million
emplois
barrels
aussi.
a day. And to achieve that in 2035, we
Mais
will
il y a
all of the
70
partners and the
barils
potential
de
partners
pétrole
and the future partners to join
et
us
tout
in
le
that
monde
journey to
sont
achieve that.
bienvenus pour
30
communiquer et bienvenus pour
Saad.
That's a great
partager
closing.
le plan.
I totally agree with Mohammed, and that's a good way to have a remark. on this today.
Et comme
But
M. Mohamed
honestly, I
dit,
think opportunities is there.
mais il y a de
And
chances aussi.
it is our
Et je
job as a
crois
regulator to enable these opportunities for
notre
different stakeholders.
plan
And we are very excited.
pour ramener tout ce
Really, especially with what Mohammed said.
qu'on est
all the
bien
accomplishments that we
content
have, seen, and yet
pour
we have-
commencer à
we're
faire.
not even there yet. So more opportunities are coming.
Mais malheureusement,
More work on us,
on n'a
coming
pas
also.
arrivé,
And that
on
is
n'a
something
toujours
that
pas
impacts
arrivé.
us as human beings, our
Mais
families,
il se
our
faxe
employees.
nous,
And also, there is an opportunity to take
qui
that risk
affecte les
and
familles
make it,
et affecte les
something
personnes.
better for the economy. And again,
Et je
it will
peux
help,
prendre ce
the health
problème,
and safety of people. It will bring opportunities,
mais il peut
economic
aider
opportunities. And
le
we need always to
santé
be ambitious
et il peut
on
aider
what we
l'économie au futur
Tariq?
Well,
aussi.
I would like to end it with a simple quote, yet
Mais je
very
voulais
meaningful,
terminer avec
by our visionary leader,
cette phrase,
Our Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
comment Monsieur l'ami,
We will
le
no
prince
longer follow
Mohammed bin Salman,
an example, but we will be leading by example.
comme il a dit,
And I believe this does sum up
on
everything
ne va
that
pas
my fellow
faire
panelists
comme
just said. And we are looking forward
ils
to
ont dit,
actually
on
achieving
va
that
le
with
faire.
velocity, and we have a firm belief that
Et ça,
we
je
will
pense
do so,
que
inshallah.
Thank you, Tariq.
exemple
Inshallah.
qu'on peut le faire.
Maybe just
Madame
two words,
Fordos,
two different concepts,
peut-être-
not two
je
words.
pense que je veux
But,
dire deux
the
mots.
first one is for industry to not forget
Le
that
premier,
local governments have this service delivery mandate,
il faut le,
towards citizenship,
le
that citizens
le
are the
facteur
first
et
consumer in building waste.
le
So if we
personne
want
et
this
les
to happen, we
publicités
need to work
qu'ils
with the
ont
local government
le faire,
to get to
il
the
faut que
consumers,
réfléchissent
to get to
qu'ils
the
ont le plus
citizens. And
important
industry could be really an opportunity in rethinking it in this way and bringing
avant qu'on a
a new awareness
avant
raising
qu'on
to
donne les chances de autres villages ou
inclusion
l'autre
for the
pays,
people.
il
And
faut
this is
qu'ils
what we are all
réfléchissent.
doing.
Thank you so much.
Et ça, ce
Like, just
que
to thank you all.
il faut le
A
faire.
big thank you to all of you for the contribution.
Et merci pour vous, merci pour
Thank the organizers, the team of
communiquer,
the United
et merci
Nations
pour
Climate Week,
partager.
for
Et je
everything that you have
remercie
done to support us, organize for this session, and thank you to the audience.
et tout ce
And
que
that's it.
supporte
Thank you
cet
so much.
event.
Thank
Et
you,
merci à vous tout le monde.